this class stuff, comment where they are. Yes, I saw last week. You can start. So let's try is like this one is the manual reader. I suppose in the library you should have this one.
The online library.
Online.
Our online library has it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Don't need to carry the heavy one. Then you can have it. But that one is published in 2010 or something, so the article will be like an early one. Okay, so we will start with the class. So today we will look at the business manual. And business manual will, every year, 1 year is the contemporary art, another year is architecture. So this 2026 is the contemporary art. But we only focus on contemporary art. So in this book, actually the author is more like a journalist. And this book is like, like a coffee table book. You can read it really casually. And in that book, 7 Days in Our World is more like this author wants to summarize what is the most important or important things in our world if you need to condense them into 7 days. So that's also the 7 things you need to know. Like chapter 1 is ocean house. I think Vivian's also teach the art market. So ocean is like a second-hand market. So you always have the commercial gallery as the first one, then art fair, and then will be the ocean. Okay, so chapter 2 will be the art criticism. Yeah, in this class about art writing. So it's important for art critic to write something, to give the feedback to some exhibitions or some critique about the current situations in the art world. And third one, Art Basel is art fair. Right now it's not only Art Basel, Freeze, and also have each city have their own art fair. Like Taipei art fair already 30 years, and in the past 6 years we also have another one called Taipei Dandai, but they finish the art fairs in Taiwan. They withdraw and to make others place as a art fair. So art fair is also connected with the commercial part. Okay, so chapter 4, Turner Prize. So it's about art award. So not the young emerging artists. They need to attend some art award in order to be known by other curators or some institutions. So art award is also important for the this art system. So actually these 7 days is more like what is the art ecosystem from different parts, and all this is interweaving each other. And in Taiwan, we have the Taipei Art World right now in the 3rd floor of the T-Fund. So you can visit. And Kaohsiung Art Awards, maybe just finished. Yes. And I think every city have their own art awards. So last time I remember someone asking for open call. So open call is another kind of selection channel. And open call is the same, it's also the competition. It's similar with the art award. You through this kind of competition, then certain kind of artists might be selected at the end and be provided with some big money or big opportunity. Maybe he can make the exhibition, or they have a group show with all the winners. So they have they can put in their own portfolio. Okay. And chapter 5 is the magazine, art magazine. In the past, art magazine played quite a crucial role. When one famous art critic writes something, it influences a lot. But recent 10 years, 15 years, because of the social media, a lot of printed-based art magazine, they have the difficulties to survive. So they might turn into a digital platform. So right now, they might have both with the print magazine, but also have the digital platform. And now has more and more art magazine, they might cancel the printed version. They only exist online. But online one is also quite problematic, because when you have the printed one, you always keep somewhere in the library, no matter where is the place, and you can find out these physical things. But online, sometimes with their website, have any problem, and then all the documents just disappear. No matter how details they collected and how well designed they have been, but if their surface machines might run down or have any problem or any virus, to occupy the site, and everything is gone. So the digital also have certain kind of security issue needs to be made sure. Okay, the chapter 6 is the Japanese artist, what is called Karuki Murakami's workshop. But this one is not only talking about him, it's more generally talking about artist studio and how the artists, they use their studios to produce artworks. And these studios might turn into like a big company. So like this Japanese artist, he's really working with the fashion brand like LV and others fashion brand. Then maybe the LV's the bag will have his own painting as a pattern. So he turned his studio into like a company, but he also thinking about, okay, not only commercial sites, I also want to generate the new generation, to teach the new generation. So his workshop also have this educational function. Invited the young people to come, they do training to the workshop, and also he also have art awards be held by his studio. So the artist, what is the artist's role in this art ecosystem? So the chapter 6 is talking about this. In chapter 7, talking about biennial, triennial, and documenta, these kind of things. And Venus biennial is like long histories, and every 2 years, from the 1895, and in between, only twice not have Venus biennial. During the World War II, okay, and also during the COVID-19, just postponed and not have untimed exhibition. So you can consider one exhibition you need to premise you should appear every 2 years and then continually for a century. Yeah, that's also like a big commitment. Okay. So these 7 things is about the different actors, important actors in our ecosystem, and all connected with each other. So it means like Venus biennial is not only a biennial happen every 2 years, it's also connected strongly with our market. Some artists have the chance to present it in the Venus biennial. Later on, his price in the art markets might growing quite high. And also someone wins some award. Maybe later on he can be selected by a certain kind of museum. And then maybe when the Venus Biennial invited these emerging artists, it's like a really big honor for these young artists. Suddenly he can be like jump to several different stage. And also the same, if some art critic, when this art critic writing about Venus Biennial, normally have hundreds of artists, and for very short, maybe like a 2,000 or 1,000 words within this short text, anyone be mentioned is also be known in other platform later on. So all this actually interweaving each other. So 3 big biennials, last time we mentioned these 3. Venus Biennial 1895, Sao Paulo after World War II, 1951, Documenta 1955. So before the World War II, before the World War II, only the Venus Biennial exists. Around 50 years, only Venus Biennial. Focus on contemporary art because every 2 years they will present it, the current, the newest, the emerging artist. Maybe not emerging artists, but the artists really well presented during that period of time. So for the Venus Biennial, Venus is the place between the Asia and also the Europe. So in the past, it's also the important point for the trade. Any kind of key ceramic from Asia to Europe is always passed by the Venus. So Venus is always very good with the commercial things. And with a lot of interesting architecture, different period of time, different style. And later on, the Venus become a tourist site. And if you want become a tourist site, you need to have so many different kind of events in different seasons in order to invite the audience can come back again and again and again. It's not like to visit Venus once in your life. You might go every 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, because they want you to see art, architecture, cinema. So also we have a lot of Venus Film Festival, and every year really important. Dance, they also have a dance festival, the music festival, theater festival. They also have their own archive. And for the contemporary art, for the contemporary art, yes, since 1895, 1 year is the contemporary art, next year is architecture. So yes, I continually do this. The one I just mentioned have one event canceled is not World War II. It's the World War I, 1916. 1916 that year was cancelled. And during the World War II, it's also been interrupted for a while. And then during the COVID-19, have some postponed. So I think this one is from their official website. It's more accurate. But as I say, it's really difficult for one exhibition. They need to keep the premise, keep on to do things every 2 years. I don't know this year is okay to be delivered because they are going to they'll open the show in maybe May, and now still on the just recent 10 years, 10 days in the Middle East, the war started, and we don't know when this can be ended. And right now Iran has the new leader, but that leader is the son of the previous leader. So actually it's like a similar situation. So the conflict might growing more seriously. So we don't know when it can be ended, especially right now, around like the Middle East, a lot of traffic just stops. The flight cancel, even a lot of boats or a lot of things be interrupted. I don't know, maybe another new record in the Venus biennial due to the war. Okay. And for the Venus biennial, you always have lists. From the very beginning, they have the National Pavilion. So the reason why they need to have the National Pavilion is they suppose the Venus biennial is like an Olympic game in art. So they want this event become a kind of peaceful relationship between different countries. They use culture as the media to do the exchange or encourage people to work together. Even if you want to have some competition, yes, you can use art as a media to compete each other. So the National Pavilion and try to reduce other kind of conflicts in the real world. But as you know, it's like the power is art. Sometimes we say is quite huge, but in reality, sometimes it's really weak. If during the war, all the exhibitions need to be cancelled. But maybe the exhibition have others function. Maybe during the war, or people think like really unstable or hard, very hard, in a very hardship condition. Maybe art can be some healing function or some place you will be come down or certain kind of place to away from the terrible reality. So you might think about what is the function for the exhibition, why we need to have the exhibition all the time. Okay. And then in the main venue, they always have the invitation to thematic exhibition. That will be done by the artistic director. So they will announce all the artistic director 2 years before. So these persons can set up his or her own curatorial team and then deliver this exhibition within 2 years. And for Venus biennials, all the Venus can be the exhibition venues because they have this collateral events. It's mean like any public museums or private sectors, if they want to organize exhibition, you just need to find out the venue, rent the venue. Then you have your exhibition. And all the information you might submit it to the business venue, and they will do like a selection. They will select several things and put it in their catalog, and also the guidebook. So this one is the guidebook from 2019 when I visited business venue. So they normally have small guidebook with all the map, with all the artists, and then a little bit detail. Each artist have some paragraph to describe, and after that they have like a bigger catalog to collect it, all the articles, all the on-site photos, all the different events of the venue. So you might look at. And also the business venue have the function of the art wall. So every year they will select it in different pavilion or the artists, who is the best artist. So they have a lion art award. You can see their symbol. I think the symbol is the symbol of the city of Venus. It's the lion. So the lion art. Golden Lion Award. Before 2000, the venue is smaller, only in the Green Park. And Green Park have this main venue actually this one is the Italian pavilion. And in that Green Park is just part of the exhibition. The Green Park called Giardini, so actually it's the park, and in that park, a lot of pavilions located in the park. And after 2000, they extended a new venue and used a lot of the warehouse near the port, so they can have like a really long shape. Then the space is like not only double, maybe a triple of the previous one, and can have more national pavilions located in the new venue. And for this is called Arsenale, and before is the Navy space warehouse. So the venue, the shape is like this, really long shape. So how you can use this such a long shape? I think that's all the challenge for the curators. I think before it's more look like museums. You can have like one small room, another small room, but this one is only from one entrance to another entrance. Maybe you need to walk in, I don't know, 20 minutes or longer if you take time to watch all the videos or something. Maybe you take 1 hour or longer. So how you can arrange from one part to another part, and how you divided the venue. I think that's all quite big challenge for some artists. And especially that's the heritage. So always have this in the middle. How you keep that one, so how you make the small room, that's all quite depends on the artist, the artistic curator. Some artistic curator, they want to keep it as an open space, but some people want to have like a small room. And the one that I attended, I suppose that's the best exhibition I saw until now. That's the 2000, when the curator Hara Zeman first time to use this venue. And his way of using this venue is like maybe when you come into the entrance is have some lighting, so it's really bright, and they give you the dark room, then the dark room for 2, and then some lighting again. So it's like you will have this kind of tempo. You won't like stay in like painting area for a while, for too long, or you won't stay in the dark room for too long. They always give this kind of different tempo to present the art piece. So and Venus Biennial before 1972, before that, is always just a kind of assemblage for all the artists. They just maybe pick up something in the past 2 years. They present it without any theme, without any meaningful things. They just do like report, like every 2 years to report you what happened in the past 2 years. Start from 1972, a theme was adopted by the biennial. So it's called work or behavior. So I think this SBA title always needs to be problematic, give you a lot of questions. What do you mean by work? What do you mean by behavior? Can behavior become the work? Okay, now we might suppose conceptual art or performance art might use the behavior as your way to present something. But before that, when you're talking about the work, it's always painting or sculpture, just these two. But in the 70s, has more and more new type of art practice coming out. So the Venus Biennial needs to include all type of artistic practice. So this title called Work or Behavior. And as I mentioned, the best exhibition I saw actually is 1999, not 2000. 1999 is curated by Hara Zeman, and Hara Zeman is the independent curator from 70s, and especially in the late 60s, he has a show also talking about a lot of different kind of ideas, living in your brain, contexts, something. So he's trying to include lots of conceptual thinking, performance, action in the show. So Hara Zeman also played a crucial role for the Venus Biennial, and that's become another turning point, especially in 1999. He curated a show called Protocol for Overall, and first time to use the asanale. So it's this one, the first time to use. So it means like a Venus Biennial expanded the venue for 3 times or 4 times. And for the curators, you have more job needs to deal with. And also during that year, 1999, he invited so many artists from mainland China and from Asia. And before that, it's more European artists, because the Venus Biennial is only the Euro-American artists occupied for a long time. And for Asia or other like South American artists, maybe just very few people be invited in the past. But after 1999, have large numbers of these artists, non-Western artists, was invited to Venus Biennial. And also for Hara Zeman, he is the only curator who curated 2 versions of Venus Biennial. Because Venus Biennial is like a really important exhibition. All the curators really want to have this opportunity. Because if you become the artistic director of Venus Biennial, it means you already reached the top of your career. Normally, your career will start with maybe graduate from the university or art school, then find an intern in certain kind of art galleries or small museum, then move to like another institution as the curatorial team, and move to another bigger museum as the curator, from the young generation curator, become like a senior curator, curate differential, curate this biennial, another biennial, and one day you was invited by Venus Biennial. That means something. Then if you was invited by Documenta, that also means another level. And if we compare with Venus Biennial and Documenta, and Venus Biennial always will be seen more related with our markets, and more like a presentation every 2 years. And Documenta might be considered more curatorial consideration, and try to challenge and create the new curatorial model. And every 5 years, they really want to set up something quite different from the previous. And also, Documenta also thinking they are the leading exhibition in the world. So they're always thinking about what is the future 5 years, what is the future decades, and then they will do that in their show. So 2001, Patterns of Humankind is another title. And for the Venus Biennial, because it's huge, sometimes it's difficult to have really specific or really narrowed down topic. So when you see the title, it's always really broad in order to include all kinds of art medias and all the things. So like the 2019, when you live in interesting time, that's also interesting, because in the UK, when you mention something, and the British people respond to you, oh, that's interesting. Actually, that's the opposite meaning. It's really like, oh, that's something, maybe difficulties, or they always have this kind of ironic ways to respond. So, especially when you living, is wish you living in the interesting time. 2019, later I will introduce during that time, that year is also have some conflict somewhere. And right now has more and more conflicts, as we mentioned this year. Okay. 2003, called Dreams and Conflicts. So it's really, the next is to bring the conflicts into the title. 2003, I think is like a lot of European countries fight with Iraq during that time, 2003. And still the war and a lot of terrorist attack somewhere. 2005, the experience of ours, always a little future further. And the first time presented by 2 female curators. And that's also the first time in the history of Venus Biennial. So I think after the late 90s, a lot of new strategy Venus Biennials adopted. 2007, Sing with the Sense, Feel with the Mind, are in the present tense. I just list after 2000, and you can have the view and thinking about what kind of title the curator gives this such big exhibition. 2009, Making World. 2011, Illumination. And this one is interesting because illusion, right? And here is illumination. So actually it's talking, have some critique about what is meant by nation. Its nation is a kind of illusion. So you also, I think the title play with the war is also quite interesting and really raise some issues. In 2013, the Encyclopedia Palace is also talking about what is meant by war. This word maybe have something related with knowledge production. In 2015, all the world's future. So it's also like really broad sense of the title. And curators is the Oakwood Edward. He is quite important. He curated 2002 Documenta 11. And at that time, he bring in post-colonial theory to the Documenta. So he also brings lots of artists from Africa as to the Documenta, and also 2015. This one is another chance for him. And I think he is also the person curated both Venus Biennials and Documenta. And another person is the Haraziman. Haraziman curated the Documenta 1970 something, 72, Documenta 5. Then Venus Biennial 1999 and 2001. So only these two curators curated these two big platforms in the contemporary art world. 2017, levels are vivid. In 2019, may you live in interesting times.
It sounds very friendly.
Sounds very friendly. Which one you prefer? This one, right?
It sounds very.
Man, you.
Also by squash.
For the Venus Biennial or any big exhibition, you always need a pre-funding. So this kind of big brands can be like a special sponsorship. So how you presented them in your catalog, sometimes through this kind of advertisements, but also through the maybe give them some name. Korea. I think they will give like a big space for some special sponsorship. You really give the name and give their logo somewhere here, like a British Council, other countries support, they might do here. So you always have a lot of logos somewhere, swatch, yeah, it's like a, give you one page, it's mean like you are the main sponsor. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one. Okay, so in 2019, in this one, when you live in interesting time, have this one in the Asanale venue. And this one is the real victim of some events. So actually, this fishing boat actually is something happened in 2015, and during that time is has a lot of refugee crisis during the time. So this boat has a lot of people die, be killing. Yeah, this particular boat had the real tragedies in this boat, and then these artists not really show other things. Just use these objects. It's the real objects presented in the Venus Biennial venue. So in this particular project, raised a lot of issues, a lot of debate. And some people might well say the artist is really cool. Like really, this artist just directly presented this tragedy through the real object. But others might also complain, oh, your lack of ethical value. This boat has so many people life in this boat. How can you directly present this in the exhibition? You use this kind of tragedy as your own cultural capital to increase your own name in the art circle. So have like a totally different kind of debate. Yeah, and if you visit the show and you really see this art piece, what is your response to this exhibition under the title "When You Living in the Interesting Times"? You agree with artists' presentations, or you are thinking about maybe have something need to be done more, or you also agree and say, oh, that's the real evidence, and in front of this evidence, people can have open the dialogue. I don't know, what is your opinions about these artworks?
I think this is not the grave of the victim. So to bring this up and acknowledge this boat as the found object for a critical artwork, to raise the issue, to let not it sink in the sea at the same time is a good work, other than let it forgotten.
So you prefers to have this
Yes.
in the exhibition. In the past, actually have several artists. Have one artist, he just presented 2 crashed car in the Iraq war, then move that crash car presented in the museum, and in front of that have a lot of conversation. He will bring like a different people from different background. Maybe one Iraq soldier with another, I don't know, American citizen. They have the conversation about what is meant by Iraq war. So that has been presented in the art circle for a long time. So for this piece is also following with this political art practice in the art circle. But in 2019, I think has a lot of debate thinking about maybe we can have further discussion not only just presented that, maybe, I don't know, because have so many people pass away in this tragedy, and how we can do something more, maybe honoring these people's name or others. So have during that time have more discussion about that. But in the past, this kind of political act, as the red evidence bringing to the museum, a lot of people say, oh, that's quite, in the past, maybe that kind of strategy is quite strong and give the audience a kind of new experience. But when that kind of practice, after 10 years or 15 years later, people might have different kind of thinking. You can have more considerations or different way, or people also thinking about the not only for the artistic value, but what is meant by social value and how you can gauge this event.
I think it's like the case of a massacre,
Yeah.
and then later, like decades later, people will honor,
Yeah.
to memorialize that, and this is also like very, very monumental. I mean, I think because it's very fresh to the people.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
really
these people.
2015, then the exhibition is 4 years later.
Yeah.
So it's a really short period of time. People still have really fresh image in their mind, especially as I mentioned during that time. Has one famous photos is the little boy lying down on the beach and die, and everyone still have that kind of vivid memory. So how we remember the tragedy during the short time, maybe certain kind of way. 10 years later, 20 years later, century later, you might have different ways to deal with this tragedy. So I think when the big exhibitions have one particular artworks to raise certain kind of debate, for the organizers, sometimes they will, for them, maybe on the one hand they will feel like a little bit dangerous, because maybe this kind of debate might like a firing, and you don't know when it can be end. But on the other hand, it's also kind of a chance to test or raise certain kind of issue. So I think for the artistic director, his own decision is quite important. Show or not show this piece. If presented this piece, what kind of outcome might come out? If not, then can this title be more interesting? Then you're living in an interesting time. Yeah. So from the human rights perspective, maybe you are not agree with the presentation, right?
I mean, I agree with it.
Okay.
I mean, like, I mean, the objects are important, and the way that they, let's say, they presented this as a starter for the conversation is important, rather than just not talking about it or talking about through like an interpretation, an artwork interpretation of someone else. But I think it's better to present the real objects rather than like a real interpretation. And also, like, it is not the objects are not the problem. The problem is that how they talk, what they talk about it, like what kind of information they provide when they present this object. Yes, and yes, I think.
So it was shipped to this place, right?
Yeah.
The event happened in the Mediterranean Sea, but
Yeah.
what were some of the how was viewers' reaction to it? Like, what was the discourse around it?
Yeah, as I say, have like a opposite sides. Yeah. And during that time, these pieces like come like a spotlight, and people is like focus on this and have like a debate. Yeah. And some people really agree, but some people feel like it's a little bit too directly or a kind of too violence for some people who passed away in this tragedy. So like the two sides debate a lot.
What's the motive behind that the artistic director, or the person putting this up? Like, what did they want to showcase through this? Like, what's the main, right? So I think that depends a lot.
Yeah. When you see this title, it means like actually you are not in the situation this time, you are actually in like a really bad situation. And how you can present this kind of terrible current moment.
And also, I think it's important about, I mean, like, is it, like, they're also considering the other things that are around, like, are also exhibited among this one, like, other things that are also being showcased there. For example, I mean, in this,
Does it link to other
yes, I mean,
similar?
like, if like in, for example, if this space and then this box and then other subs, like nearby that, and when people walk into that space, if they see they are seeing other objects or other artworks, they are in a certain mode of thinking about objects, and then when they see these objects that, for example, those other objects are not about this topic but about other topics, then it might be a problem in the sense that they are, I don't know how to explain it anyway.
Actually, that's in the Asanale. So I have like a really long shape with a lot of different arm piece, and this one is near the sea. So it's be like, I think all the hours have discussed different issues, especially a lot of conflict or a lot of political issues in certain point, and this one is exhibit in the outdoor and isolated from others. Yeah. In the same year, another artist, Shen Yuan and Peng Yu, they are also used this one. That's also talking about machine, AI, but also dancing. Yeah, cannot help myself. So it's also talking about what is being by machine. Machine is always be controlled, but how the machine cannot help myself. Did you see this before? Right? I think I presented in the certain kind of occasion, or you can watch it.
I think the machine died last year, right? It was about to die. I think I heard some news that it died or it was about to die last year.
Oh, I don't know. Why is it not me? Okay, maybe later on I will show this piece. Actually, that's the room. And then the machine will dancing around and to pull this water, but the liquid is the red, so it's like a blood. And they will use machines to make different shape of black. Cannot help myself. It's like a painting. Also like a automatically type of painting. But that's the machine. And the machine is also dancing. It's not like a machine, it's like the robot. So this one is trying to make a kind of humans dancing way. But use the black, very liquid. It's also called bracket. And the title called Can I Help Myself? So if you're talking about these two pieces, they have some things to talk to each other. And then if we are thinking about AI age, who control the machine? Before the human create a machine, but maybe later on the human will be controlled by this AI, this machine. And these two artists is from mainland China. So the Chinese artists, they always want to do something like a big scale. And maybe not really considered with humanity. They are always working in some red line between certain kind of sensitive issue. And you also can thinking about this one as a performance, action art, machine art, AI, I don't know. And this one is before COVID-19. So everything still quite positive, because during that time not used to have the virus, but in the war already have a lot of conflicts and a lot of tragedies happens in the past few years. So you can really feel like artists also have this kind of sense to talking about this bloodly thing, violence, the relationship between AI, the machines, and the human. And actually, the program actually is really great. It's never repeat. You can watch maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, always different. It's not repeated. And it's really like a title, like a crazy machine cannot help myself.
The artworks outside kind of complement inside the artworks outside. Like there are big cartoons outside the glass. I mean on the wall.
Yeah, outside is other RPs. And this one is more like a containers inside the venue. And all like this.
Like half and half, like the yin and yang kind of with the face.
You can have so many different kind of interpretation about this.
But I was also wondering, like, with the boat thing and with this one also, like, a lot of times if we see these things on media, social media, like when we see things about like violence or tragedy or like war, and a lot of times that people come here and they see it and then they feel like, oh, it's triggering or it is very violent, because for a lot of people when we look on like on the screen, it just passes away, or like our algorithms are set in a way where we only see certain kind of news.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you be in this space, when you come to visit the Webbinia, you are like kind of bound to see everything when you pass through it. So that's why I think people also make that judgment or like say that, oh, it's too triggering, but it's actually the reality of many people, right? So, and I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just thinking in that blend, that, yeah.
Yeah, and also for each one, maybe have like 100 something artists, and each one will present their own view. So it's also like a multi-view about what happened in the past, what the current situation, and how, and also artists is very sensitive, right? They will present what is their thinking, what is their feeling, what is their imagination. So it's everything is like based on this. So the exhibition actually is a kind of summary about what happened surrounding us. And the title of "Man, You Living in an Interesting Time" is really mean, yeah, we are in certain kind of strange stage or condition, non-human condition or something. Okay, so I think maybe we can stop here, then we take a break because the recording